Good evening, everybody. I have to cut it off before I get in trouble. Before I get in trouble with YouTube. Good evening. Welcome to On the Couch. Good evening, everybody. I have to cut it off before I get in trouble. Before I get in trouble with YouTube. Good evening. Welcome to On the Couch. Good evening, everybody. I have to cut it off before I get in trouble. Two or three different places. Before I get in trouble with YouTube. Good evening. Let me see. Where am I? I'm in two or three different places. Two or three different places. Let's try it. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. This is rough. I know all kind of technical difficulties on night number one. This is horrible. This is horrible. Let's see. Yeah, we're there. What was it? Oh, hey, Lee. So I am still there. I was like, I thought I lost myself, but I'm here. Okay. All right. Well, good evening. Spread the word. I'm about to put the link on Facebook. So as I was saying, before was talking to myself here and there and everywhere, I am Dr. Kim. I know. I'm Dr. Kim, professor by trade and relationship coach for enjoyment. And so previously, it's on here as Friday Night Live with Dr. Kim, and it is Friday night. But over the years, as I took a hiatus, people kept calling me, I need to get on the couch with Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim, is your couch open? And it caught. And I said, if I come back, then I've got to have a new title and I've got to have new energy. And so that's what I'm back with. It's On the Couch with Dr. Kim. So those of you who are joining me for the first time, I'm introducing myself. And for those of you who are coming back, welcome back. Welcome back. So I thought I would start with a timely topic, which is, are we in a dating recession? We know we're in an economic recession. But for those of us who are out here single, either by choice or by circumstance, you know that there are some dating challenges, a lot of dating challenges. And so one would even say it is a recession. And so what is a recession? Recession, simply put, is limit of supply and demand, right? A limit of those things that are in demand. And so for the single people out here, like it's not a lot of folks out here who are available, right? It's not a lot of people out here who are available, but that's far from the truth, right? We look at when we look at statistics, we see for the first time in American history, there are more single people available than ever before, especially in age groups over 30 and 40, right? Where traditionally by the age of 30, most folks are married or in, as we say, domestic relationships, right? Long-term domestic relationships. So now we're seeing folks are staying single longer, 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 longer. And there's some reasons behind that. And so even with the availability of single people, there's some reasons why single people aren't finding each other. Let me get my glasses so we can talk about this a little bit more in depth. Come on in. Please share the link and talk to me. Talk to me in the chat to know what you're thinking as we get started. So I started off by looking, I said, let me see what's going on. So I haven't been on since August of 2023. So I took a good long break, a good long break. And so I was like, I know what's going on in my life, but let me see what is going on in the world at large. And so took a look at statistics. You know, I love statistics. And as a researcher, of course, statistics are my thing. Good evening, Lee. So took a look at some statistics. And so there was some really good surveys that were done near the end of 2025, asking single people, why are you single? And what's going on with being single? And so there was one really good survey. They surveyed 5,000 people, 5,000 people. And out of those respondents, believe it or not, 68% of them said they wanted to be married. So even though we hear on social media a lot that marriage is not the choice for people, folks are preferring to stay single, they are preferring to stay single longer. But there's still a good amount of people that desire marriage as a relationship goal. But here's what's interesting, right? Out of the 68%, so out of all of these people that say they really want to be married, only a third of them say they really want to date. Most folks are like, I do not desire dating. Like if I could find my person, and my daughter hates that expression, but if I could find my person and we could just meet and get together and go into the sunset together, they'd be fine. But going through the whole dating process, they're like, no. And so I'll get into some of those reasons in a minute. So all these people that want to date, they also found out that only 1 in 3 people are actually dating. So out of the folks that are available to date, who are single, and by single, I mean they're not in a relationship with anybody, and they're also not dating someone who thinks that they're in a relationship with them. So single. So out of the singles, most of them are not dating, not actively dating. And the survey define dating as going out once a month or more. So folks are not dating. All single people are passing each other on the street. Nobody is pairing up dating. So I thought that was interesting. Here's one for folks in my group. Something else you might want to know about me as you began following or you're coming back to following is I have a great group on Facebook called Love and Life, according to Dr. Kim. We're about 2,000 strong, where we talk about everything concerning love, life, and relationships. And so the majority of that group are women over 40. The meat of the group, 50 and up. And so out of this survey, most of the women over 50 categorize themselves as those who don't want to date. They're like, I'm over it. I could be married. I would love to be married, but I don't want to date. I'm going to talk about some of those reasons. Okay. But men of the same age, over 50, enjoy dating, but their relationship goals are very different. They desire companionship, maybe a committed relationship. Very few of them want to be married. We'll talk about some of those reasons in a minute. So just those two facts, folks that don't want to date and folks that want to date for different reasons, right, is limiting what the dating pool is. Folks who are actually available, right, to get together. So here's some of the reasons that they found out. And you all talk to me about what you think, right? Do any of these resonate with you? The first one was out of the singles that were polled, and I hear this a lot, right? In my inbox, as people are inboxing me about their dating woes and stuff like that. People are lack confidence. There's a lot of folks who just don't feel like they're good at dating. So they're like, I don't go out. I don't go out. I'm not even seeking to date anybody because I'm just not good at it. They don't have the confidence. They're not sure how to show up. They're not sure how to respond when somebody is speaking to them, whether it's at an event or if somebody does pop up in their DMs. They're like, I don't even know what to do with that. So they just ignore it. And then there's others who don't lack confidence because they don't feel like their picker is off. Like I literally think that I just don't know how to pick a good person based on their previous dating experiences. So they're like, no, I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to leave that alone. So singles lack their confidence in dating skills and they feel like their picker is off. So they reject dating opportunities, or even trying. A lot of folks choosing not to date because of the hookup culture, right? So you heard at the beginning, I said 68% of the people polled said they wanted to be married. They're not finding a lot of people out here who also want to be married. Folks want to hook up. And they're like, no, I'm really looking for a serious relationship, even a committed relationship, right? That may not result in marriage. People are not finding that. And it's a real interesting phenomenon for those of us who are over 50, that there is a large faction of people, and I phrased it like this, who are looking for a nurse or a purse. They don't want marriage either, but they want somebody to nurse them through their health conditions. And we know as we advance in age, there are a lot of health conditions that many folks are dealing with. Or they're on a fixed income, so they're looking for somebody who has some money, right, to supplement what they have or what they don't have. So the 50s are like, no, I'd rather not date. I'd rather deal with the peace and quiet that I have because I'm not looking to be a nurse and I'm not looking to finance somebody. So, nope. Yeah, they're choosing not to date, choosing not to date. Another reason folks are not dating is the recession is recessing. Folks like, it's too expensive to date. It costs too much. It costs too much to dress up. It costs too much to go out and eat. And then you have the whole debate on who pays. I probably could do a whole show on that. So if I ask you out, does that mean I pay? If it's our first date, does that mean we go Dutch? And if that's the case, then people are real careful about where they're asking people to go. A nurse or first, yeah. They're yeah, being very selective about where they go because it's gonna be a lot of money. And it turns into an investment, right? So you heard at the beginning, folks are only going out maybe once a month. So if you start going out more than once a month, that's adding astronomically to your budget. And people are like, I just don't have it. I just don't have the money, especially not knowing where this is going. So you drop this money on somebody and then, oh, it doesn't go anywhere. Now you're starting all over again. Another $100, $200. Like it's impossible to go out now for less than $100. Where are you gonna go? Even Culver's for two people, it's probably gonna be about a good $30, $40. That adds up. You start doing that several times a month, right? I know that makes me sound so cheap. Anyway, I'm gonna move. So anyway, the recession has got people really thinking about, is this person even worth it for me to find an outfit to go out? Is this person even worth me putting gas in my car? I mean, people are really thinking about it that way, just from a financial end. Yeah, it's something. Some folks aren't going out. I'm not confident in my dating abilities, and I think my picker is off. I'm sick of the hookup culture, and it costs too much. Another big reason is folks are saying their data resilience is just really low. So, meaning If they go out on a date and something goes wrong, there might have been a time that they gave the person the benefit of the doubt and they'd go out again and see if things got better. The singles are saying now, you mess up the first time, it's one and done for me. There's no second date, there's no callback. They cut their losses and they keep moving on. On the flip side of that, or related to that, is dating fatigue. Some of those surveyed, as well as the folks that I encountered through relationship coaching, are saying, I just have dating fatigue. I'm just tired of going through that beginning process of introducing myself and then trying to find out what this person's favorite color is and all of that. Do you drink coffee? Are you coffee? Are you a tea person? Like, I'm just over it, which again resonated with what that survey was saying. People who desire a relationship but don't want to go through the whole interview process. And if Dr. Hightower is watching, he doesn't like that I talk about dating as interviewing because I refer to the people that approach me as applicants. And he's like, Dr. Kim, that's such a bad way of looking at it. But I mean, I think everybody is interviewing everybody, right? For a primary role in your life. That's what dating is. We're trying to figure out, is there alignment? Do we have anything in common? Do we want to take this to the next level? It sounds like an interview to me. But anyway, so people are tired of starting over again. Most folks are saying that resilience is coming from the fact that it's hard for them to stay positive after a bad date. And so for that reason, they sit out of the dating game for a while. It's like every time they take a hit, it takes longer and longer to get back into the game. So their resilience is super, super low. And then more than half of the folks said that the breakups, every time there was a breakup, it just made it harder and harder for them to be open to wanting to date. So all of these reasons, right, are impacting people being available to date, even if they are statistically single. So what are we going to do about that? What can we do about that? Some people are going to stay lonely, even though those over 50 women said they're good. Like they enjoy their peace, they enjoy their quiet, and all of their pennies being intact. And people, we don't even have pennies anymore. Isn't that crazy? How much things are changing in the world? We're not even using pennies. Pennies are out of production. But anyway, I got a few for you, and we're gonna go. We're gonna be kind of short tonight for our first night. I know, got a few people in the chat. We're gonna take it slow tonight. There's a few things I want to drop on you as the Baptist preachers say it. I have three, and then I'm not going to be before you long, okay? So live. The first thing you can do for yourself, if you have dating fatigue, if you have low confidence in your dating ability, you think your picker is off, all of those things. First thing you can do for yourself to feel better about your dating situation or lack of dating is live. Live your life. Live a full life. Wake up every day with an agenda of things that make you smile and bring you joy. And especially on the weekends, plan something that you want to do. And I say that because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, but I can't find anybody to go with me, friends or a potential partner. Go by yourself. Go. For those of you who are over 40, you only got about 30 more summers. You only got about 30 more summers. So if you think about it like that, like there's limited time for you to enjoy your life. Go live. All of those things that you wish you could do if you had somebody, go do those things and enjoy yourself. So first of all, the quality of your life is going to improve, and that even makes you more attractive. Nothing is less attractive than someone who looks desperate. People can smell desperation. I'm looking. And that's men and women. And trust me, I've encountered that. I'm meeting men all the time, over 50, who don't want to die alone. And when that's your lead in, it's not very attractive. Or you're just looking for somebody. You're just looking for a body, right? Because you don't want to be by yourself. That's horrible. Who wants to sign up for that? But if you're living a whole life, good evening. Hey, Tina. Hey, that's China. Hey, good evening. If you're living your life, number one, you're not going to be so focused on the fact that you don't have a plus one because you're living. The second thing that can happen is you actually meet somebody who's doing some of the things that you enjoy. So that prevents you having to do that interview that I was talking about a minute ago, right? So, what do you like to do in your spare time? You already know because you met the person while you were doing it. Uh huh. Uh huh. I'm still echoing. I don't know why. Thanks for letting me know. I had no idea I was echoing. Okay. Is that better? I hope. Let me know if it's still echoing, okay? So get out and live. That's going to impact the quality of your life. It makes you more attractive and it lessens the opportunity for you to have to do all that interviewing, right? You might actually find somebody that does the things that you like to do. Let people know your intentions. Let people know that you're open to dating. Believe it or not, there's a large percentage of people who are getting fixed up. People are actually matching people up. We're going back to that. That's old fashioned, right? Right? People fixing people up. I got a friend you would like. People are starting to go back to that. And it doesn't get better than that, right? What better review can you have than somebody who already knows this person? Now, the caveat is this, you got to consider the source. Because some people are trying to outsource somebody in their family who they know is not an ounce of good. But for the most part, people are like, wow, I know somebody who's also looking, somebody who also wants, right? Somebody in their life, and you guys would be great together. I want you to meet. But a lot of times that doesn't happen because people are not open about what they really want. They're embarrassed. So a lot of people are embarrassed to say, I want to be married, or I just want to be in a committed relationship. There's a lot of folks, and I get this a lot, people who think I'm already in a relationship. No rings here. Okay. So I let people know, no, I'm open for dating. I'm single. If you know somebody, let me know. If you know somebody, let me know. Okay, so let people know what your intentions are. And you might be surprised at who you get introduced to. And then use technology. Now, I know some people are really against online dating. Let's talk about that for a minute. Okay. Number one, if you're going to use dating apps, focus in on the ones that are concentrated on the demographic of your choice. So if you're over 50, go with the over 50 apps. Okay. There's some that are geared towards specific interests, right? Movie buffs, folks who are into sports, people who are into fitness. Those might be the dating apps that you want to focus on. Because that again, right there, right, gives you a group of people that you might have some alignment with. So focus dating groups or dating apps, social media. A lot of people are meeting, especially guess what? Not Facebook anymore, but Instagram. Watching some other podcasts, right, about relationships, and couples are getting together on Instagram and TikTok. Not in groups, just people seeing their posts, going straight to the messages. Wow, you seem very interesting. Wow, I've been watching, your posts for a while. Introducing themselves, sure would like to get to know you better. Just being on social media. And I'm talking about the under 40 crowd. So these aren't the old people. The old people are still on Facebook. But those of you who are younger, you might want to check those messages on Instagram and TikTok. There's people there that are finding other people. And then online groups are great as well. And I love those because I just sit back and watch people and how they act, right? And how they interact with others, as well as looking at their page. What kind of things do they post? So if I go to your page and all I see is bikini bottoms, really, it's really not much for us to talk about. But if I go to your page and I see that this person, wow, they have a myriad of interests. They can write in English and you can understand what they're saying. Maybe they have some spiritual posts. Maybe they have something, about wisdom or life lessons. Oh, okay. So again, it kind of takes away some of the interviewing because you see how this person lives all the time. I personally love to see, wow, does this person say anything about their family? Do they seem to interact with a family, whether that's parents or children, siblings? Tells you a lot about how that person conducts their life. Because sometimes people will lie on these profiles, right? And they lie sometimes on the dating apps, right? I'm going to put my best foot forward and I'm going to try to sell myself to the group of people that, I want to date instead of telling the truth. And again, this is men and women. I know some women, and I've talked about it before. This girl can cook. You see them on Facebook, and that girl got a freezer full of Stouffer. But she knows what the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's what she's been taught. So if I post all of this food, then maybe, right? And then the man finds out it was just bait. It wasn't really who she was. So we got to be careful out here in these dating streets. But I want to see you all start living. Want to see you. I didn't put this on my list, but this just came to me. Be careful who you are socializing with. And I've had some men tell me this. They're like, a man is probably not going to approach you if you're with a lot of other women. And then if you're with a certain kind of women. Ooh, what do I mean by that? So they're looking at the quality of women that you're around. Yep. And then they said if it's too many women, they're probably not going to come over there and approach you. So think about it, especially as you get older and older, you'll need to be hanging out like that. It's a bad look. It might be cutting off opportunities for you to meet somebody. So think about the company you keep. And like I said, if it's a certain kind, women you're out with, they're looking loose. The brothers you out with, pants hanging, looking a little rough around the edges, right? And I say that because I'm hearing more and more men say that they're expecting, which I'm still not comfortable with, I'm gonna be honest, but they're still expecting, or they're now expecting more for women to approach them. So I'm saying the same thing to the brothers. If you want a woman to approach you or let her or have her express her interest, if you're hanging around the riffraff, the woman you want is probably not going to come over there near you. She probably doesn't feel safe enough to come over there to you. But also looking at who you hang with, it's like maybe that's kind of how he is too. So never mind. Something to think about. So on this first night, talking about this dating recession, pray for the single people. It's rough out here. Pray that the people who want to be in relationships will find each other and that folks will be honest, right, in that finding, that they won't just try to sell themselves based on what they think somebody wants to hear, but they'll actually be themselves. And watch what you're watching on social media too. I know it's hard, Pam. It's hard. I told you it goes against everything, right, that we were taught. But I think there's a way to do it non-threatening, right? So I'm still going to be demure about it if I'm letting someone know I'm interested in them. I keep it real business-like. So I don't come off as over flirtatious, but I might mention something this person has said or something they're doing. It's like, wow, you seem like a very interesting person. I would like to get to know you better, right? Or, wow, can we have a conversation? Keep it real light. And either let you know I'm not single or they're not interested. You go, wow, okay, well, it's great. You have a great evening, and you move on. So you got to learn to have a little bit of a thicker skin. And the men say, look, they've had to do it all these years, right? It takes a lot of courage to walk up to somebody and let them know that you find them attractive or, you would like to chat with them, etc. But again, because of this, I won't call it a limited pool, but it's a very specific pool. The percentages are there. You have to shoot your shot. Otherwise, you may be sitting there for a long time. But all that batting of the eyelashes and moving your hair, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. But I think the approach has to be a certain way so that person doesn't think, oh, okay, she's trying to hit it. So your approach matters, but yeah, you gotta do some thinking and some planning. Um, Someone else I was talking to before said, why is this the one area of our lives? And this is not everybody, but there's enough. Why is this the one area of our lives that we don't prepare or train for? So everything else that we do in our lives, right? If we want to pursue a profession, we study for it, right? We may move someplace else. We may read about it. We're going to do some things to prepare ourselves for that job. We want to lose weight. Again, we're going to watch videos. We're going to, start working out. We're going to change our diet. But those of us who say we want to change our relationship status seem to think that somebody is literally going to fall out of the sky in our lap and we'll live happily ever after. So, what are you doing to prepare yourself to meet this individual? Are you reading? Are you doing some self evaluation? Are you positioning yourself to be places where other single people are, which is where I started with the live? Something to think about. Okay, so how bad do you want it without being desperate? But think about those things that you do have control over. And in the meantime, enjoy your life. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. Please make sure you hold on hold on to this link. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you get the notifications. I'll be here every Friday night, right? 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, talking about everything concerning life and love. We got the apology languages coming up. We got baby mama drama coming up. We have dating in 2026. I have a great author of relationship books coming on in a couple of weeks. Ross Swan, if you're watching out there in Baltimore, he's going to be joining me in a couple of weeks. What I learned from my divorce, I'm going to have a couple of divorced people on here talking with me about that and preparing the way for my book. Yeah, which should be out May 1st. So, got a lot of good topics coming up. If you have some that you'd like for me to chop it up, please send them. You can find me on Facebook, Kimberly A. King. You can also find me on Facebook on the Couch with Dr. Kim, spelled just like that. Or if you're a lady, you can find me in Love and Life According to Dr. Kim. We'd love to have you in the group. And again, talk about everything concerning life, love, and relationships. All right. I will see you next Friday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Have a good night.